formal greeting from me to you. What's happening? Welcome back. I'm Stacy. This is episode number 3. This is the third Ask Stacy Live. I finally got a name for it. Hashtag Ask Stacy Live. Today I have a short one for you. 3 questions. Let's do this. Oh, I'm a little tilted. So, Mia, I meant to tell everybody it was because of you. I got a tall holiday spice flat white and I wasn't really fond of it. So I asked Mia if I should add something to it. And that something was eggnog. Her and her girlfriend recommended that we should have this. So I'm gonna put some in here because she said it would taste really good, and that was actually one of the ingredients that you could put in, like at Starbucks when I created this. Okay, so we're gonna try this. We're gonna put some, I don't know how much to put in here. Let me try it. Whoa, it changes its flavor. Let me add some more. Mia, you passed. Thank you so much. Will you put that back for me, please? Okay, now this tastes a lot better. But we're gonna get to the questions now. You said you see yourself getting married soon. Yes, I want to be married. If I could get married today, I would get married today. We have Jessica behind the camera asking the most important questions ever for today. Please welcome Jessica Baraka. Cute. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they made me sound like Barack Obama's niece. Okay, first question. Why can't I have someone fall in love with me? Sad face.
The truth is, you need to change your mindset. That's the number one thing you need to change. You genuinely just need to stop looking for it. I think that that's something that a lot of us do. I think that we look and we look and we look, and that makes us more prone to setting ourselves up to failure because we maybe have that notion in our mind that we're constantly just never going to find it, that love is not for us and all those stuff. So I think the number one thing you need to do is switch that around. Stop saying that you're not going to find love. Stop saying that nobody's out there for you, that nobody likes you, that nobody wants you, that nobody loves you. Like, you got to get rid of all that because that is only going to stay and it's only going to make your little cloud above your head darker, 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 and bigger and bigger, bigger. So stop saying that. That's one thing that you really, 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 really need to stop doing. Believe it or not, I get a lot of messages that are always like that. Like, what if somebody doesn't love me for me? Or what if somebody doesn't do this? Or what if somebody doesn't want to be with me? Or blah, 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 blah. Or I'm never going to find love. And the one thing I always say, number one thing is stop thinking that way. That's the one thing you have to change. Negativity only attracts more negativity. Everybody knows that. Everybody hears that. But do you really, really, really think about it? Do you really know it? Do you really put it into action? Do you really practice what you preach? Peach. Do you really practice what you preach? I said peach and it made me laugh. I really just think it's important to change. You need to be positive. You need to start being open-minded because in a sense you're closing that part of your mind off where you're just not putting yourself up in a place where you need to be in a positive thinking in your mind. Number 2, you can't have people fall in love with you. You can't make people fall in love with you. This is something that I kind of answered in my last or one of the first hashtag Ask Stacy Live, I think it was the first one. You can't have or make or force people to fall in love with you. It just has to come organically. If you try to make somebody or try to persuade somebody to like you, it just was not gonna happen that way. Somebody has to like you for you. Somebody has to love you for you. Somebody has to like everything that you are, and they have to fall in love with you, genuinely fall in love with you, or fall for you, or like you as you are, and that's that. Why would you want to make somebody fall in love with you? Like, wouldn't you want to have that beautiful feeling of somebody just falling for you? Like, all of a sudden you get these sweet little feelings in your heart and in your tummy, and it's just organic and beautiful. You need to start with loving yourself, because loving yourself is going to help you see so much of what I'm saying. You just need to realize that maybe right now is really truly not the time, and maybe you haven't met somebody that is going to be the one that you love, or maybe you are going to meet someone and then they're not going to be it, but you got to keep going because after that comes somebody else, and after that comes somebody else, or maybe the next person is the one that you're going to marry, or maybe the next person is the one that you're going to have beautiful 7 years with, and then maybe that won't work out. I mean, that's kind of morbid and kind of sad, but that's how life works. Sometimes we just don't work out with people. Take this for example. If those little toys that kids play with, the little wooden box, and they have like the circles and stars and the rectangles and everything else, you can't put the cylinder block in a star block because it won't fit no matter how much you force it. If you start forcing and you start carving different shapes into it, and then it just doesn't, it looks ugly. And that's technically how things could end up, or how things usually end up. If you force something, it just automatically doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. First of all, start loving yourself. Second of all, start telling yourself that you are amazing, that you're wonderful, that you're worth it, that somebody's gonna come along, that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of being loved, you are worthy of having love. Constantly remind yourself these things, because a lot of the times I feel like a lot of us just don't even say that, or don't even think to say that, or think that would be weird, but it's something that we need, and nobody else has to know about it. You can can be stand in the mirror and tell yourself that you're the sexiest person ever. You ain't gotta go tell everybody. It's just for our own heart health and mental health and emotions and everything that comes along with it.
I like someone who is in love with someone else. What should I do? How do you love someone from afar?
One, most importantly, have to come to terms with the fact that they're with somebody. Come to terms with the fact that you cannot be with that person because that person is taken. I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but it's the truth. There are so many people out there who would love to be with somebody, who would love to have that relationship that you're looking for as well. You just have to move on with life. You can't just stay stuck in this position. I know it's hard because you have these feelings for this specific person and you want to be with that specific person, and all you can think about is being with that person and everything you want to do is with that person. I think it's just something where you also have to grieve that loss, because that is something that you are losing in a sense with your emotions and your heart and everything and your mind and everything. You have to go through that losing. You just have to grieve that moment. So I think you should allow yourself to grieve, and I think that once you get that grieving out of your system, you get that out of your system little by little, you're gonna start to feel better. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with your heart. You have to be patient with a healing wound. You have to do all of that, but you also have to move ahead, because if you just grieve and you just sit there and you just cry your eyes out, you're not going to get anybody better any faster than anybody. You have to do what you got to do to move forward in a healthy way and focus on yourself. Slowly but surely you will start to see everything else unravel. You will start to see a lot of things falling into place, but I think that you just need to admit to yourself, and you need to come to terms that that is not going to happen, that that person is taken, and then maybe down the road, maybe later down the road, something could happen. You just never know. But I think the main thing is you need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on your heart and your well-being and all that, and everything else will come together. Next question, just the last question.
I want to come out publicly on Facebook, but my parents said no because I guess they are ashamed of me being gay.
I know that you may really want to be out and you really want to feel free. I know that you want to have your parents accept you 100% and be super loving and have everything be beautiful. But the truth is, when you come out, there will be consequences, and there will be good things and bad things that come along with those consequences. Some will be good, some will be bad. The most important thing that you need to know and you need to think of right now is your parents may be ashamed, but at least they know. Well, I don't know your situation, but from what I'm gathering, I don't think they kicked you out, or maybe it wasn't bad. I don't know the whole situation, but I think that a lot of times we get really caught up in the whole thing of like coming out and wanting to be free and wanting everything to happen out in the open and ready and free, and that's it. But there's so much more to that. There's so much more with your parents. There's so much more with your siblings. There's so much more with your friends. It's not just you trying to accept yourself. It's not just you trying to come to terms with yourself. It's not just you just trying to come to terms with your sexuality. It's not just you. It has to be more than that. Like you just need to open your eyes that your parents need help accepting you as you are, like coming to terms with it, because all this time, like, yeah, maybe they did know that you were gay or lesbian or trans or pansexual or whatever it is. Maybe they did know that. Maybe they were slowly coming to terms with it, but you can't expect them to be okay with you from day to night. Some parents are gonna be so cool and be like, oh yeah, it's awesome. But there's other parents who are not gonna be as okay with it. I think that that's something you really need to remember. You need to give your parents time as well. When I came out to my mom, I knew that she knew, because parents just know. Your parents just know. But I knew that she knew. But she asked me and she told me, she mentioned needing time. You know, she mentioned needing time to, I guess, come to terms with it. Coming to terms and accepting and seeing that I'm still her little girl. I'm still her daughter. I haven't changed. I'm still the person that she gave birth to. You know what I mean? So you can ask me all the questions that you want. Any question that you want, ask me. I'm more than welcome to answer anything that you have. And I was A-okay. I was 120% okay with giving her as much time as she needed, because I knew that I was already in a good place where I was able to tell her and get that off my chest. And at that moment, it didn't feel like getting anything off my chest, because I was going through something so crazy and so like hurtful and painful that it was a relief in a sense to my like own self. Like I told my mom, she knows like 100% now, but I knew that she needed that time, and I knew that because I was okay and I was content with her just knowing, I knew that I couldn't just lay everything else on her right away, because a lot of the times parents are not ready for that. A lot of the times parents can't take all that, and then there ends up being resentment. And so what you don't want to do is cause your parents resentment. Point is, you need to understand that other people need time on their own to deal with certain things. So that is one thing that you need to do. Second, if this is like something that's been going on for a very long time, maybe it's something that you need to sit down and talk to your parents about and say, listen, this is how I feel. This is what not being able to share my sexuality with my family members on my Facebook is making me feel, and how I would like to see things or whatever. But just talk calmly, talk heart to heart, be open, be expressive, or try to be if you can't really express your feelings. Then you make the choice. If your parents don't see it, then you make the choice whether you want to you can even make your own Facebook account and just invite your friends or whoever you trust or want to be open to, and do that, and just leave that whole parent thing and your family members and stuff to the side and figure out what to do with that later. But I think the most important thing is that you need to remember that your family needs time. If your family is already on this whole like journey with you for a very long time, express that to them. Tell them what you're thinking. Tell them what you want to do. Tell them how it makes you feel. If that doesn't work, then I would suggest you make your own page. You could be under an alias or something if you don't want to cause commotion or whatever, or maybe you just don't give a crap and you just want to go for it, then go for it. But if you're gonna go for it, then you need to be ready for all the consequences. You need to be ready for everything that could happen after that. So I think that that's something that you need to remember. You need to just keep in mind. I do want to say, no matter what, whatever the outcome is, don't give up. Don't let yourself down. If you're kicked out, if something happens, if your parents just don't want to talk to you anymore, whatever it is, don't let that bring you down, because I know it's very hurtful. I know you don't want to ever disappoint your parents or your family or whoever is very, very, very important to you. I know you don't ever want to do that, but the most important thing that you need to remember is that life goes on and you need to get your ass up and you need to keep going. Because if you just let yourself sit there and just like hate life because it didn't turn out to be how you were hoping it would, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to keep moving forward for you, for your family, for your future family, for yourself. Or what are you going to do? Just have like this life where you're just hating yourself and you're so depressed all the time? You can't do that. You got to keep going for yourself. You got to keep moving. You were given a body, a mind, a brain, a heart for a reason. Your own hands and limbs, you know, granted some of us don't have any of that, but if you do, if you have whatever you're given with, you got to do what you have to get through. Everything that you're given is a purpose for you, for your life. So find that purpose and keep going. Even if you can't find that purpose right away, keep going. No matter what, keep going, keep going, keep going. I think this is like the whole overall message, is just focus on yourself and focus on getting ahead. Whatever that is, if you want to do this, you want to do that, go all in and keep doing it until you get that, and then keep going after that. That's the one thing I want to close out with here. There you go, wrapping up number 3. Thank you guys so much for joining me, for watching this. If you have any questions, please remember to use the hashtag #AskStacyLive, and I'll try my best to get your question on here. I just want to thank you guys so much one more time for watching, for giving me a little bit of your time. I hope that I was able to help. I know this one was a little bit shorter than usual, but I do want to let you guys know that you guys are amazing. Don't ever forget that you are worthy of so much of love, of everything positive, and I hope that you guys remember this every time you are feeling down. Yeah, and I'm heading out. Please show that like button, a little bit of romance. If you're not subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like to give that subscribe button a little love tap, and please don't forget to show all of my social medias a little bit of affection with the follow. And if there's one thing I want to call out in mind, there are actually 3. No matter the highs, the lows, always be sure, always be certain to do good, be grateful, and stay humble. I will see you guys next video. Bye.